I am very proud and glad to be here tonight to be able to, so that we can talk together about what we're doing. We've been doing this now for a few years, and when we started out, we started holding community meetings. And the reason I personally felt we had to hold community meetings is because I wanted this process to be a community-driven process. And many of you, some of you would have already heard me say this in your communities and heard me say this at different meetings. This is a very important process that we're in. And make no mistake that it really needs a lot of discussion amongst the Mi'kmaq. And when I say Mi'kmaq, I mean Mi'kmaq in Nova Scotia, all Mi'kmaq. It's a large process that has taken us, I've been working at this now 40 years. I started in 1975, well not quite 40, 38 years ago, when there was no recognition of anything for us. All that was recognized in this province was reservations and reserved Indians. The rest of it, when I was doing my work, I was told, where are all the Indians? There are no Indians here. They're all on the reserve. They're all a part of the federal government of Canada. That's their responsibility. The province has no responsibility for Indian people here. And there were claims made. I mean, we always said, as Mi'kmaq people, we always said we had rights. We had treaty rights, and we had Aboriginal rights. And we didn't even say Aboriginal rights then. We didn't say Aboriginal rights until after 1982, when the Constitution of Canada was brought back to Canada. And that Constitution had implemented Section 35, which recognizes Aboriginal people as being Indian, Inuit, and Métis, and it recognizes Aboriginal and treaty rights of Aboriginal people in Canada. Before that, we didn't even talk about Aboriginal rights. All of a sudden, we all had Aboriginal rights. All Aboriginal people in Canada claimed we all had Aboriginal rights. In Nova Scotia, we fell far behind because nobody was recognizing our rights, nobody was recognizing us. The Union of Nova Scotia Indians, way back when they put in the claim, they said we had no claim. There were no treaties here. They were all superseded by law. The reason being, of course, and Joby will talk about this after, but the reason, of course, being because when the Indian Act came into being in 1868, and they made reserves and put all the Indians on reserves, and that was the federal government's way of carrying out their fiduciary duty to Indian people in this country. So they said our rights weren't there. They weren't recognized. We had to go to court. We had to go to court a number of times to get our rights recognized. And the first decision, which is very, very important to us, is the Simon decision, which he used the Treaty of 1752 to defend his right to hunt. And he won that case. He lost it first, and here in the province, in the lower courts. And one of the reasons, which was that he couldn't prove his lineage to the actual signatory of Treaty 1752, which was just absurd. It was appealed to the Supreme Court of Canada, and the Supreme Court of Canada, of course, overturned that decision, and actually, the province of Nova Scotia courts got sort of slapped for even making such a ridiculous decision. But having said that, I mean, there's a number of cases that happened in Canada that brought us to where we are. It didn't happen overnight. We've been struggling for 40 years as Mi'kmaq people to get our rights recognized and to bring us to a place where we are today. And for a long time, we thought we would never get here. They had comprehensive claims that addressed claims from west of the Atlantic provinces. East of Atlantic provinces, there were no claims. We were totally ignored. I remember personally making a presentation to the commission that was going around with the comprehensive claims policy, saying that we had rights down here